What's up guys, welcome back, and in this video let us talk about metabolism. I know a lot of us have spent a lot of time and effort when it comes to dieting down, and with that being said, we all know when you're dieting from, let's say, 80 to 60 kgs, you require a lot less calories than once you did when you were 80 kgs. Now the problem occurs when we hit this plateau. A lot of us look at ourselves and we say, you know what, I've been working so hard, why is it so difficult for me to lose weight? And this guy over here eats whatever the hell he wants and he's still not putting on weight. What is the problem? What do we do? Have you guys heard of this thing called adaptive thermogenesis? What it means is, as you reduce weight, your metabolic activity in terms of calories also reduces disproportionately. So to give you an example, it is like saying, or it is basically what happens when a person who is 90 kgs drops to about 60 kgs will require a lot less calories as compared to a person who is already sustaining that 60 kgs would require in order to maintain that same weight. Well, basically you at 60 kgs will have a metabolism lower than someone who's always been at 60 kgs. So how much of a difference does this adaptive thermogenesis really make? Before we dig deeper, let us understand what is metabolism. Now you have two chunks. One is your resting energy expenditure and your non-resting energy expenditure. Under resting, we have BMR, basal metabolic rate, which is all the calories your body is using when you're at rest, when you're sitting, relaxing, chilling, all the processes going on in your body, breathing and all that is your BMR, which is a huge chunk. And then you have your non-resting energy expenditure, which is your energy or exercise activity thermogenesis. So all the calories you're burning while lifting weights, that's one. And then you have your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is me talking, me fidgeting, me going about my day. And finally, you have the thermic effect of food, the metabolic activity when it comes to you assimilating and digesting all this food. Now, with that being said, let us look into deeper this whole concept to see what does or where does adaptive thermogenesis come into play. To save you guys from all this confusion, I have consolidated or taken this one chart from one study which should explain everything to you in detail. So you have three groups of people. One is people who have maintained the same weight throughout the year, which is the green column. And then you have people who have dieted down to this weight in the past about 5 to 8 weeks. And you have people in the last column, which is the yellow column, who have really sustained this weight for the past 1 year. Now we're looking into the amount of calories expended per day. Now the total energy expenditure, as you can see in the first column, in the first pillar, should I say, is the highest for the people in the green column. Now we need to identify if this is resting or non-resting. If it is resting, it could be a problem, right? If it's non-resting, all that means to say is that the people who have reduced this weight to this certain weight have actually not been as active as they should be as compared to the people who have sustained this weight. So looking into the resting, you see there is not much of a difference. There is a very small or insignificant difference when it comes to people who have sustained this weight or people who have reduced this weight to the certain weight in the past couple of years or past couple of weeks, so to say. When you look into resting energy expenditure, you will notice that there's not much of a difference between all the three groups. People who have sustained for the rest of their life, people who have lost this in the last 5 to 8 weeks, and people who have maintained this weight in the past 1 year. Now, when you look deeper into non-resting activity and energy expenditure, whatever it is, you can see that there is a difference. Here is where majority of the difference lies. People who have maintained the weight throughout their lives have just been more active in this study. So with that being said, to put things in perspective, the main problem is essentially two things. One is, as you reduce weight, you start to hold a lot less baggage. You become more efficient. You running or jogging with 100 kgs for 5 minutes, you burn a lot more weight when it comes to you jogging at about 80 kgs, right? Your baggage is a lot less. You become more efficient at the movement, and most importantly, you're holding a lot less weight. And secondly, what also happens is the fact that when you go to extreme levels of cutting, if you ask a bodybuilder or somebody who tries to really lose all that extra weight, your body tries its best to prevent you from depriving yourself to that extent. Let me put it in a better perspective. You're quite depleted. Now your body does not want to, or it finds it uncomfortable. So by default, it will subconsciously prevent you from being that physically active. So the total energy expenditure from non-resting activity will diminish significantly, and that is where most of the problem lies. So if you're one of those people who are stuck at a plateau, I would suggest that you track your activity, make it a point that you be as physically active as possible and burn as much calories as possible by being very active. Now, with all this said and done, yes, you have to diet really hard. That is always in the equation. Once you reach that plateau, please look into details. Details matter. Details in your diet, details in your training. And as discussed in this, there is no, so to say, metabolic problem with most people. The fact of the matter is that people are not as active as they used to be or what they should be. If you're looking into BMR, the biggest problem or the most difference you can see in most people is maybe around 300 calories up or down, which is probably like a meal or snack. So don't look into this as a problem if you're not losing weight like you have, or a problem with your metabolism or whatever it is. It's just that you need to be more physically active, and that's pretty much about it. There's not going to be much difference between someone who is finding it extremely difficult to lose weight and someone who is finding it very easy to stay lean. It's just these factors that come into play, and sometimes it could be a 300 calorie difference. So that's pretty much it. With that being said, guys, I would request you to go into details and to pinpoint every single thing in terms of your diet and training, and that should help you reach your goals. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Let me know if you have any questions, put it in the comment section, and please feel free to keep in touch if that makes sense. See you guys.